Under the deep night sky, where the stars sparkle like precious gems scattered on black velvet, a figure glides through space at a speed far beyond the speed of light. It is Superman, the hero of Earth, with a crimson cape billowing behind him, eyes glowing like two blue flames, and a body that exudes an air of invincibility. Superman is facing a threat beyond anything he has ever known, a colossal cosmic entity, an interstellar nightmare, Galactus, the Devourer of Planets. Earth is immersed in a rare, peaceful atmosphere. The brightly lit cities, from Metropolis to Gotham, are still bustling with their daily lives. But Superman, also known as Clark Kent, cannot enjoy that peaceful moment. For many days, he has felt a strange vibration from the universe, as if something huge, unstoppable, is approaching. Standing on top of the Daily Planet Tower, he looks up at the sky, his supernatural eyes piercing the atmosphere, scanning the distant galaxies. And then, he sees him, a great figure, as tall as a cosmic mountain, floating in space. It is Galactus. He is not a human, nor is he a creature in the usual sense. Galactus is an ancient entity, born in the early days of the universe, an entity that lives to maintain balance by devouring energy-rich planets. He wore a massive suit of purple armor, which seemed to be forged from the light of dead stars. A strange helmet covered his head, which obscured his eyes, but from which a cold energy emanated, as if the entire universe bowed before his presence. In his hand was a device that emitted a crimson light, a light that signaled the destruction of the unfortunate worlds that fell into his sights. Superman clenched his fists, his heart pounding. He had faced powerful foes like Darkseid, Brainiac, and Doomsday, but none of them had ever felt as overwhelming as Galactus. He did not fight for vengeance or ambition. He fought for what he was, an integral part of the universe. And now, Earth, the home Superman had sworn to protect, was in the planet Devourer's sights. Superman did not act immediately. He knew that confronting a being like Galactus would require more than just throwing his strongest punch. He needed information, needed preparation. Soaring into space, he made his way to the Watchtower, the Justice League's base in Earth orbit. There, the other members of the League, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, and others, were waiting for him. In a conference room filled with the blue light of hologram screens, Superman explained what he had seen. "He is Galactus," he said, his voice low but determined. "He is not an enemy we can defeat with strength alone. He is part of the cosmos, an ancient entity whose power far surpasses anything we have ever faced." Batman, his face cold and his eyes sharp, nodded. "I've studied Galactus from the Green Lantern Corps' data. He's not just a creature, he's a force of nature. He consumes planets to sustain life, and no one, not even the Guardians of the Universe, dares to confront him directly." Wonder Woman, her silver sword in hand, stood up. "If he sets his sights on Earth, we can't just stand by and watch. Whoever he is, will fight to protect it." Flash, his thoughts lightning fast, interjected. "But how do we defeat something the entire universe fears? I mean, Superman may be strong, but Galactus? He's on a different level, right?" Superman didn't respond right away. He stood there, his eyes on the Earth floating outside the Watchtower's window. He knew Flash was right, but he also knew that, no matter how powerful Galactus was, he couldn't let Earth fall into his hands. "We'll find a way," he said, his voice firm. "I'll find a way." The fateful day came sooner than Superman expected. A huge shadow covered the sky of Earth, as if the sun had been swallowed by a cosmic wave. From space, Galactus appeared, standing on a giant ship, floating like a mobile city among the stars. He said nothing, but his presence was enough to make the entire planet tremble. Waves of energy from his ship spread out, shaking the atmosphere, sending cities into panic. Superman flew up, facing Galactus. From close range, he was even more terrifying than he had imagined. Galactus was so tall that he blocked out part of the sky. His purple armor reflected the light of the stars, and the eyes hidden under his helmet seemed to pierce Superman's soul. "Small being," Galactus' voice rang out, deep and deep like the roar of the universe. "You dare stand before me, the bearer of the fate of the stars?" Superman did not flinch. "This is my home, Galactus. I will not let you destroy it." Galactus did not reply. He simply raised a giant hand, and from it, a jet of crimson energy shot forth, powerful enough to destroy an entire planet. Superman, with superhuman speed, dodged the blast, feeling its terrible heat as it passed him. Without hesitation, he charged at Galactus, channeling all his strength into a single punch. Superman's punch exploded like a supernova. The force of his fist shook the space around him, sending shockwaves through the air, shattering nearby cosmic debris. Galactus, though he did not move, seemed to sense the force of the blow. He paused, a low groan escaping his massive armor. But only for a moment, he turned, and his invisible eyes seemed to laugh. "You are strong, small being," Galactus said, his voice as cold as the space between galaxies. "But your power is but a speck before the universe." Superman did not give up. He attacked again and again, each punch, each beam of heat from his eyes, with all his might. Space shook around him, the stars seemed to sway under the force of the battle. But no matter how hard he tried, Galactus stood firm, like an immovable mountain. Every blow from Superman hurt Galactus, but they were only small scratches on a great being. Finally, when Superman poured all his energy into one final blow, a punch so powerful it cracked the space around him, Galactus responded. He raised his hand, and a beam of cosmic energy as bright as the light of a million stars shot straight at Superman. Superman had no time to dodge. The beam swallowed him, propelling him across hundreds of miles of space, leaving a bright trail in the sky. When the light faded, Superman lay there, on the surface of a shattered asteroid. His cloak was tattered, his body was covered in wounds, but his eyes burned with determination. He knew he could not defeat Galactus, but he also knew that, if only for a moment, he had made the cosmic being feel the power of Earth. As Galactus prepares to strike the final blow against Earth, something unexpected happens. An army from outer space appears, the soldiers of the Silver Surfer, who was once Galactus's herald but betrayed him to protect the worlds. With the help of the Silver Surfer and the Justice League, Superman rises once more. They do not defeat Galactus, but they make him realize that Earth is not an ordinary planet. It is a symbol of life, of indomitable will. Galactus, after a moment of silence, turns away. "This world is not worth my destruction," he says, his voice deep as thunder. "But remember, small being, I will return." After Galactus departs, leaving Earth in a fragile silence, Superman, exhausted, cannot rest. He stands on the surface of the shattered asteroid, his gaze fixed on the cosmic horizon where Galactus has disappeared. His tattered red cape fluttered in the zero-gravity space, like a flag of victory. But he knew that this victory was only temporary. Galactus had made it clear. He would return. Back at the Watchtower, Superman convened the Justice League to discuss what had just happened. The conference room was filled with holographic lights, displaying images of Galactus's massive ship and the planets he had devoured in the past. Batman, in a calm but determined voice, said, "We need to understand Galactus better. If he comes back, we must be better prepared this time." Silver Surfer, who had been Galactus's herald, stood in the corner of the room, his body glowing silver like a living star. He stepped forward, his voice echoing like the wind of space. "Galactus is more than just an enemy. He is part of the cosmic balance. He devours planets to survive, but not out of malice. He chooses worlds with abundant energy, and Earth, with its special energy core and abundant life, is a perfect target." Superman clenched his fists. "So what do we do? Accept our fate and let him destroy Earth?" Silver Surfer shook his head. "No, there is a way. Galactus depends on planetary energy. But if we can provide him with an alternative source, he can bypass Earth." Wonder Woman, her eyes blazing, interjected, "What energy source is powerful enough to satisfy a being like Galactus?" Silver Surfer hesitated, then pointed to a hologram screen showing a distant galaxy. "There is something called the energy condenser, an ancient core of energy created during the Big Bang. If we can find it, we can convince Galactus to leave." Superman nodded, his eyes shining with hope. "Then we will find it. Wherever it is, I will go there." But Batman, ever the practical man, warned, "This is no easy task, Clark. The energy condenser is legendary. and if it exists, it is protected by forces we cannot even imagine. Superman smiled, a determined smile. I have faced Galactus. I will fear nothing else. The search for the energy condensation begins. Superman, along with the Silver Surfer, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman, leave Earth on a spaceship designed by Batman, equipped with advanced technology from the Green Lantern Corps. The ship glides through distant galaxies, passing glowing black holes and shimmering nebulae that look like cosmic paintings. Every moment of the journey is a testament to the wonder of the universe, but also a reminder of the dangers that lie ahead. They reach an area called the Void, where space is distorted by strange energy currents. Here, light seems to be swallowed up, and even Superman's superhuman eyes have difficulty seeing clearly. The Silver Surfer leads the way, his body glowing like a torch in the darkness. The energy condensation is at the heart of the Void, he says, but it is protected by beings called the Guardians of the Universe. As they advanced, a gigantic figure loomed before the ship. It was a Watcher, a formless being whose body seemed to be made of light and shadow. Its eyes, if eyes could be called, shone like two suns, and its voice rang out like a symphony of 1,000 stars. Mortals, do you dare to invade the domain of the energy condenser? Superman stepped out of the ship, his body glowing in the dark space. We have come to protect the Earth. Let us take the energy condenser, or we will fight. The Watcher laughed, a sound that shook the air. You are strong, but you do not understand the power of the universe. A fight broke out. Superman lunged at the Watcher, each punch cracking the space. Wonder Woman swung her sword, cutting through the dark energy blasts the Watcher unleashed. Green Lantern created shields of green light, protecting the ship from the attacks. Silver Surfer, with superhuman speed, glided through the energy beams, searching for the enemy's weak spot. The battle lasted for hours, but finally, Superman, with a full-force strike, disintegrated the Watcher into sparkling fragments of light. In the center of the Void, the energy condenser appeared a small, glowing sphere containing the energy of an entire galaxy. Superman carefully held it, feeling the terrible power coursing through his body. Back on Earth, Superman and his team prepare for their final meeting with Galactus. He has returned, sooner than expected, his massive ship hovering over Metropolis, plunging the city into darkness. The crowd flees in panic, but Superman stands firm, holding the energy condenser in his hand. He flies up, facing Galactus once more. Galactus, he calls, his voice echoing through space. I have what you need. Take this energy condenser and leave Earth alone. Galactus looks down, his invisible eyes seemingly assessing Superman. You have come this far, small being, he says. You bring a worthy gift, but why should I believe that Earth is no longer a threat to the balance of the universe? Superman steps forward, his gaze unwavering. Because Earth is home to beings who never give up. We fight, we sacrifice, and we protect each other. If you destroy Earth, you destroy a part of the universe that even you cannot replace. Galactus was silent, as if in thought. Finally, he raised his hand, and the condensation flew from Superman's hand, merging into his body. He nodded, a gesture that was almost respectful. Very well, little being. Earth will be spared, this time. Galactus's ship disappeared into space, leaving Earth's skies bright again. Superman landed on the ground, greeted by cheers from the Justice League and the people of Metropolis. But he knew, deep down, that Galactus was not the last enemy. The universe was vast, and new threats always awaited.